From the sea of alpha games released every couple of months comes a turn-based strategy RPG where you play a shattered nation which is split to form two factions, the Royal Empire of Man and the Guild. You can play as any side you want in the campaign to really gain a sense of perspective. To clarify, I'm not going to review this game simply because it's in alpha stages, but I am going to preview the game and comment on its development thus far, and suggest ways that it could be improved before initial launch. This critique is coming from a personal fan of turn-based strategy games, although I will retain a level of biasness. Embedded in the core gameplay is the strategic turn-based combat, which I kind of enjoyed. Granted, it's hard to enjoy a game without polish and with a lot of bugs, but for an alpha game, you have to look forward as to what it'll be like when it's developed. The turn-based strategy is good and it allows you to use your brain to win the games, rather than clicking buttons to win. It isn't easy, and sometimes I lost quite a few battles by just not paying enough attention and utilising my units without due care or thought. Can this game bring something new to the table in terms of turn-based strategy? Well, this is early alpha and I haven't seen anything that has struck me as unique game mechanic wise, but what this game does do, and better than a lot of games I've seen, is artwork. In this game it allows you to zoom right into your unit, showing off the extravagant and brilliant artwork. Being pre-alpha, this game's draw distance is not very good and the units return back to their models with no art very quickly, but this problem can be fixed with development. The most exciting thing I've seen about the combat in this game is that it takes an array of units to take down an opposition, using them to your advantage almost like a game of chess. It gives this game a commander-like feel, and it's thrilling to feel in control of something like that. You feel a growing sense of progression and challenge taking on opposition and winning. Another nice feature of this game is the mobility and attacking options. Upon selecting a unit and moving it, you get 3 rings around the unit. These rings represent the amount the unit can move, allowing you to move in any direction and not limiting you to a tile-like setup like a lot of other turn-based strategy games. At the start of the game, you have a deployment phase, allowing you to place your units on the designated half of the map, altering the stance of your army to allow you to play however you enjoy playing. You could play in certain formations, for example, have your infantry backed by heavy tanks, or have your heavy tanks backed by lighter, more mobile tanks to combine mobility with power, or any other combination. While playing this game, I picked up on a lot of things that could be improved to create a truly good game. The sound effects while fighting are really loud and a bit grating. I couldn't shake free of skipping the animation for fighting or moving. I know this game is alpha and there are probably some extensive animation in the process of being made, but there are some shortcomings on the combat and moving animations. In combat, they don't seem to do anything, they just stand there firing a gun, and it would add that sense of realism or realism feel if they knelt while firing, dived or ran for cover or something like that. Another problem I have with this game is that the maps are extremely barren, and it's very likely that the studio have something in development for the maps, and I understand my criticism lacks no proper weight because this is alpha, but it would really add to the game if the maps contain urban elements in the middle or something along those lines that the units have to navigate through or around. It doesn't have to be dense, but the maps feel really boring and uninspiring. I'm not a game designer, but there is one thing that would really dilate my pupils. If there was a game mode which allowed for you to pick a side and win by owning and invading the opposition's planets. You would start off with a home planet and you have to invade the enemy's planets to allow for more resources and better units. It doesn't have to be grand strategy, but just a little game mode. When there is a battle, it turns to the turn-based battle on the planet, adding a good turn-based combat to some in-depth strategy. But I digress. All of what I've just said by no means needs to be taken into consideration. It's just something that I believe personally, after playing hundreds of strategies, would boost the game's playability. Exodus Wars Fractured Empire has some serious potential. I love that potential to be maximised. Some ideas aren't fleshed out enough, but then again it's only at alpha stages with very little other than core coding. Developers should take this game very seriously because it really is something that I look forward to being released. This is a preview. I'm Cal, thanks for watching.